There's a new door in my hallway, but my house has no renovations. I woke up at exactly 3:12 a.m. to a sound that didn't belong. It wasn't the usual hum of the refrigerator, nor the creak of the pipes that I had grown used to over the years. It was a soft click, like a latch closing. I turned my head toward the hallway, expecting nothing but the usual stretch of empty darkness leading to the bathroom. But tonight, something was different. There was light, a dim, unnatural light, leaking from beneath a door that shouldn't exist. For a few long seconds, I lay there frozen, staring at that sliver of pale yellow glow. My heart began to race as my mind tried to make sense of what I was seeing. My house was small, 2 bedrooms, a single hallway. No renovations, no new rooms. I knew every inch of it. But there it was, a new door. A door that had never been there before. I got up, the floorboards cold beneath my feet, and stepped into the hallway. The air felt different, heavier, still. I walked forward, one cautious step after another, until I stood before the door. It looked old. The wood was pale, the paint slightly peeling, as though it had been there for decades. My hand trembled as I reached for the knob. It was cold freezing, like metal that had been sitting in the snow. I turned it. The door opened silently. Inside was a bedroom, perfectly arranged, perfectly familiar, a wooden desk. A small lamp, a stack of books. I recognized the same ones that sat beside my bed. There was even a framed picture of my parents on the nightstand, just like in my own room. And in the middle of it all, on the bed, was me, sleeping peacefully. The air left my lungs. I couldn't move, couldn't even blink. I was staring at myself, my own body lying under the blanket, chest rising and falling in the rhythm of deep sleep. I stepped back, thinking I must have been dreaming, hallucinating, losing my mind. But the moment my foot touched the hallway floor, the door slammed shut on its own. I jumped. When I grabbed the knob again, it wouldn't budge, locked from the inside. I stumbled back toward my room, shaking, trying to convince myself I had just been half asleep, that none of it was real. But when I returned to my own bedroom, the photos on my nightstand, the one of my parents, was gone. The next morning, the door was gone too. Nothing but the same stretch of empty wall. No crack. No hinges, no trace that it had ever existed. I told myself to forget, to ignore it. Maybe I'd been dreaming or suffering from sleep paralysis. But deep down I knew what I saw. I knew that version of me, the one sleeping peacefully, was real. That night, I avoided the hallway. I slept with every light on, forcing myself not to look at the walls, not to think about the sound that had woken me up. But at 3:12 a.m., it came again, the same soft click. This time, I didn't get up. I lay still, pretending to sleep. My heartbeat was thunder in my ears as I listened. Slowly, I heard the faint creak of hinges. The door was back, and something stepped out. I heard bare feet brushing against the floorboards. A long pause, then slow, deliberate footsteps heading toward my room. I shut my eyes, gripping the blanket tight. I didn't breathe. The footsteps stopped right beside my bed for a long, unbearable moment. There was silence, then a sound, quiet but unmistakable. Breathing. Right above me. I could feel the warmth of it on my face. I wanted to scream, to run, but I stayed still, every muscle locked in fear. Then, after a while, the breathing stopped. The footsteps retreated. When I finally dared to open my eyes, the door was closed again. The hallway was empty, but on the edge of my bed was a single footprint. The next few days blurred into one another. I tried to leave the house, to get away, but every time I approached the front door, I'd feel dizzy, like the walls themselves were bending, refusing to let me go. My phone wouldn't work. The clocks froze at 3:12. I realized, slowly, horrifyingly, that time didn't move here anymore. Or maybe I didn't. That night, I heard it again. The click of the latch. I forced myself up, trembling, and walked down the hall. The door was there again. This time, it was open. The light spilling out was soft, warm, welcoming. And from inside, I could hear a faint whisper, a voice that sounded exactly like mine. It was calling me. I stepped closer, drawn to it. Inside, everything was still the same. The books, the photo, the sleeping version of me. But now, my double wasn't sleeping anymore. It was awake. Its eyes were open, and it was smiling. Then it spoke, in a whisper I could hear not with my ears, but inside my mind. You've been asleep for a long time. It's my turn now. Before I could react, it sat up, slowly, gracefully, and as it did, my body began to feel heavy, impossibly heavy. My knees buckled. My vision dimmed. The last thing I saw was my other self standing up, walking toward me, wearing that same calm smile. Then everything went black. I woke up, lying in bed. Morning sunlight poured through the window. Everything looked normal again. The door was gone. The house was quiet. For a moment, I thought maybe I had dreamed everything. But when I went to the bathroom and looked in the mirror, I froze. There was a faint scar across my jawline, one I never had before. And when I smiled, it didn't feel like my smile. It felt practiced, like someone else's. Now, sometimes I catch glimpses of movement in the reflection of my hallway mirror, a faint outline of a door that isn't there anymore. And every night, at exactly 3:12 a.m., I hear that soft click. It's waiting. The room wants me back, but I don't know which me it's waiting for. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more horror stories every week. And tell me in the comments, what would you do if a door suddenly appeared in your house overnight? Sleep well, if you can.